Hello guys, Matt is back again with another TypeScript video, and if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscribe button below and don't forget to hit the notification button so you get notified when I release a new video. Let's go. So in this video, I'll actually be revisiting some concepts we looked at in our previous video. So one of my subscribers asked me to clarify some concepts that were not as intuitive as you would think. So today we'll be looking at those. So you can create a new file for this video, but I'll just start afresh. I think it's better if I show you what the question is than to say it. So let's declare our interface again. Interface of person, and our person has a name. Yay. Has a name, surname, and let's declare sorry about that. And let's declare another interface and call it employee, someone who works for a company. There, they also have a name, surname, and an employee number. Employee number. Let's make this a number. So let's declare our first person. So we have our first person const person, nope, person of type person, being name X and surname Y. And also now let's declare our bank worker. Bank worker. You can call them a banker if you want. Call them a self-type employee, someone who works for a bank. And then they also have a name. Let's say, let's give them the same name and the same surname. Surname and there we go. So we have our person here and our employee here. So when you're walking down the street, and you also work for a bank, nobody actually knows what your employee number is. But if you're in a bank, the system to track the people who work for the bank, they have employee numbers and details of that employee. But that's besides the point. So let's say these two, this person here and this bank worker here, are essentially the same person. That's what I'm trying to get at. But we have a few differences, or a few things that actually don't make sense when you start moving into other territories. Let's say now I want a person who stays in Joburg, so I'll call that person Joe Burger, and then they are a person of type person, right? And then I say, okay, that person in Joburg is actually this bank worker here. So this bank worker here is actually a person in Joburg. Right? And then let's say someone else from Cape Town, Cape Townian, is of type person 2. But instead of doing it that other way, let me just copy this over here and paste it over there. Hey, sorry. That. Cool. So if we look at these, actually we didn't actually need this guy here, so I'm just gonna remove that guy over there. It's not actually used. So if we look at these two, the Joe Burger and the Kryptonian. They actually have the same values, but this guy does not seem to complain, but this guy does. So we have a red over there. It says object literal may only specify known properties and employee number does not exist in type person. This is because we have an extra property here which is not available on this type here, but we said Kryptonian person should be a Kryptonian should be of type person. But this guy over here also has employee number as access to type person, but this guy here doesn't complain. So what the compiler actually does, it treats these two things differently. So here, this statement, what the compiler is doing to check for type compatibility. So it just checks type compatibility. So what it's saying is, okay, this bank worker here has a name and a surname, and it's done. It doesn't actually look for anything extra. It just looks, okay, person has name and surname. Bank worker here has name and surname. So that means a Joe Burger can actually be assigned to this employee over here, even though this guy is of type employee. But what this guy here does, it does something else. So it does this thing called access property check. So what it does here, it says, okay, this guy is declaring a new variable here, and he's seems to say person over here should have an employee number, but employee number does not exist on type person. So it actually checks everything in this case when you declare a new object literal. That's what this is called. So an object literal may only specify known properties and employee number does not exist in type person. And here it doesn't do that. It just checks, is person here compatible with bank worker over here. So now let's change something. So let's say we, instead of saying an employee has a name and a surname, let's say they have a first name, right? And a last name. So we'll just change this guys over here so that they don't complain. You have a first name and a last name instead of a name and a surname. Now now the Joe Burger guy complains, say, okay, type employee is missing the following properties from type person, name and surname. So it's saying bank worker over here does not have a name and a surname, so I'm not going to allow this. But if they did have a name and a surname, but if I took that back, then it allows it, while this guy over here will not allow it. So to get a better understanding of these concepts, these two concepts, I'm going to leave two links in down below so you can check those out. And then maybe these links are to the Typescript official documentation, so you can have a look at those. Yeah, just read through it. If you don't understand some things, you'll probably understand them as we move forward in the series. So just just don't go too overboard, or unless you wanna uh, move ahead in the class. But if you feel like there's some things that we haven't actually tackled that are in there, don't worry about them, and then we'll get to those things. I hope that clarifies things. So see you in the next video. Leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe. Yes, sir.